Hey everybody, hope you're doing okay today, this lovely Saturday. I'm doing on a video on the difference between making decisions from ego and making decisions from soul, and noticing the kind of people that are vibrating around you that you're drawing to you, and vice versa based on what frequency you're on. I spent a lot of my life vibrating in ego frequency, and a lot of that was I made my decisions based on mind and feeding my ego. There was probably moments of arrogance. There was a lot of subconscious not knowing that's what it was. There's a lot of it is conditioning, family, and also the world we live in is still unfortunately very ego driven. I've learned to make all my decisions from soul, and it's not an easy process, and it takes quite a long time to be able to get that level of trust. But it was first having to recognize there is a difference between leading a life from ego and a life from soul. So I often touch on ego, and I often think, oh, I wonder if I'm giving ego a bit of a bad reputation, because I think we have an assumption of ego and we think of it as a bad thing. Actually, we have to have ego. We're born with ego. There is a reason we have ego. When it's balanced, actually it keeps us safe. It keeps us knowing who we are. It keeps us individual from others, so we can make our own decisions based on what's right for us. That's a healthy ego. It's about knowing who we are, and making logical decisions. When ego is overbalanced, there's arrogance. When ego is underbalanced, we're not assertive enough. We might, we can kind of end up in a lot of trouble if we don't have enough ego to sort of fight our corner and put boundaries in. And if we're over ego and in arrogance, you can probably guess all the issues that go with that. So when we've got the ego in the middle, it's brilliant. It's awesome, but it's very limited still. So when we're making decisions from soul, there's no logic, there's no story, there's no internal dialogue, there's no external dialogue, there's no weighing up what to do based on surroundings. It's actually a feeling, and it's not an emotion as such. I mean, you can equate it to an emotion when you know what the feeling of soul is, but when we're thinking of emotions, we still could be in mind, in ego. It's more just a knowing. And then you might equate it to an emotion or an experience, but it's just a knowing of a hunch. So I'm continuously, I laugh about it, I'm in a 24-hour chat room with spirit all the time, whether I like it or not. That's just how it is now, asleep or awake. So any decisions, even the tiniest little ones, I will always go to either my spirit guides, which could be, again, touching in with ego because I'm giving it to something outside of myself, or with my soul, my feeling, what do I do with this? And then I just know. I don't add to that story. I don't analyze it. The minute I do that, I've gone into mind, into ego. So it's learning to trust that instinct and just risk it, just go with it. I say risk it, but often we won't risk it because we haven't got enough logic to back up. Why would I do that? Or why would I think that? There's none of this going on. It's in here in the tummy. It's just a knowing. And for me now, it's developed into then a narrative after the knowing. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling, and then the narrative comes in, which is often mine, or sometimes my spirit guides to tell me what to do with the intuition I've just got of what steps to take next. I have lived a life of ego in the fact that I have attracted a lot of ego people of the mind. Again, I'm not saying whether over ego, under ego. I have attracted a lot of over ego, and it's been quite a tough journey to unlearn that and look at myself as to why I've attracted that. But the ego has been very logical people who are very of the mind. And what I found after a while was, why are all these connections, whether they're romantic or friendship or work, why are they always expiring? Why am I not getting permanent? And I know in a way I'm not always meant to have permanent in this life, and I'm getting okay with that. But there was something about, they weren't feeding my soul. Ego feeds ego. Soul feeds soul. What was happening was I had too much ego connections around me, mind, logic, all of that. And I was hungry. I was unsatisfied. And I was trying to force myself to be okay with these connections. And then I was just really, really starving myself of soul connection. I was becoming more and more soul, and then more and more alien to those around me. And what I found is I've had to let a lot of people go to make space, create a void. The universe loves a void to fill back up with soul connection. So I'll often say to people, where's your tribe? Where's your soul tribe? I've had to do that work myself. And it can mean that you have no tribe whatsoever and no egos around you for long periods. A very truly spiritual path is often a very, very alone path. I'm not saying lonely, but alone. Most of your growth will be done alone. But knowing, are you basing your life and what you're attracting to you through ego, the mind, and mirroring that in your world around you, because that's what you'll do? Or are you basing it on a soul path? Because people often say to me, well, how do you live a life of soul? Little bit by little bit. You know, I think people get put off because they suddenly have to become a saint overnight. No, I'm no saint. I've got nothing on my CV to say I'm a saint of my life. Quite the opposite, actually. But it's about unraveling. Am I basing everything, even if, am I going to get up and do those dishes now or in half an hour? I will now go with feeling. Does it feel right to do it now? No, it doesn't. I need to rest. Not, oh no, I need to do it because I've got a million other things to do. The tiniest, simplest things. Am I going to walk on the school run today or am I going to drive? Not even just based on the weather anymore. What do I feel? Okay, so that's how you start stepping into a soulful life. You will find that connections around you may drift away. That's okay. They've got to vibrate out to make space for soulful connection. I'm very careful now and cautious that I only invite into my personal space people that can nourish my soul. It needs to be a two-way street. I've done the egos. I've been the ego. There's still ego in there. I tried to do my best to keep it in balance now, in check. Am I over or under? I've spent a lot of my younger life in over ego and a lot of my current life until now in under ego. I think soul begins to find courage and confidence to come in when that ego's getting balanced. It'll ricochet every day, but you're just mindful of it. And every decision, even going in the cake shop, which cake do I want? What do I feel I need is going to be right for me? The one with the most cream, usually. Have a great weekend, everybody.